Hello, family. Welcome back to the African Diaspora News channel. I am Wongel Zelalem, and today we're talking about what seems like a high school argument, or at least that's where you will see this kind of arguments. Definitely not at the global stage. So imagine finding out two world leaders involved in what seems to be like a high school argument. And this high school argument has turned into a full blown um, issue, diplomatic issue between two countries. And believe it or not, this has escalated to diplomats, authorities, politicians, as well as people in those countries to push back. And this has backfired quite literally. And it is so bizarre to see, to hear, to witness this. And these are world leaders we're talking about, world leaders that have so many resources, world leaders that are seen as powerful in so many people's eyes. And they are going back and forth. I don't know if you can guess this, even if I give you a lot of chances to guess. They are arguing. The back and forth is because one is saying the other one asked him for a picture. The other one is saying they're lying. I'm not kidding. That's exactly what's been happening, and this has stirred such a controversy that Italy's foreign minister has changed his plans or her plans. Is it a man or a woman? I forgot. The foreign minister has changed their plans. They were supposed to travel to the US and it was scheduled. They canceled it because of this back and forth. So Trump accused or insulted. I mean, it's very insulting. If we're going to be honest, it's insulting. If I was in her shoes, I'll be insulted too. So this argument or this back and forth is between President Donald Trump of the United States of America and Prime Minister of Italy, Meloni. These two are fighting. And the reason is because Trump said she begged him for a photo, and she kept asking him. And his words, let me tell you exactly what he said. He said he felt sorry for her because she kept begging him and kept asking over and over again for a picture with him. So he said okay to her. This is them at the G7 summit. By the way, this happened at the G7 summit in France. And uh, this is the video that went viral. They were talking. I mean, all seemed well. But when Trump was asked by Italian reporter, he said he just felt sorry for her and she was just begging him. Oh, let me tell you something. She got mad. She got angry. She was so furious when he said that. This was her answer.
Trump of being a liar.
Frankly, I'm shocked. The only thing I can say is that it's a pity he doesn't show the same determination with the enemies of the West and the United States. But there's one thing he must remember. Italy and I, we never beg.
And it seems there's been real world consequences. Italy's foreign minister has cancelled a trip to Washington. The wider point here is that while Donald Trump is doing deals with America's enemies like Iran, he's really dishing it out to his allies. Among
Yeah, so
many attacks recently, he's called Emmanuel Macron publicity seeking. He said Keir Starmer was no Winston.
yeah, so it's safe to say Trump will say what Trump wants to say. And, if it was before or with other politicians, we rarely hear, even if they disagree, even if they don't like each other, even if there was a full-blown argument, it happens behind closed doors. They never show us, but obviously not with Trump. That's a totally different thing. But people are also curious to find out why exactly all of this animosity between them came about, because people expected them to be friends and they were friendly for a long time. And on paper they seem like what they agree on when you look at their political standings. Like, they're both conservative leaders, they're both talk about like being a nationalist, and they always say like America first or Italy first, or they both have seen, criticizing some of the EU policies. So on paper, they're supposed to be friends, right? Like they should agree on many things, and as they say, they would be braiding each other's hair if you're just told the policies they enforce, the way they talk. Even Trump before has said that like he appreciates her, he likes her. So all of a sudden now, this issue comes about of a picture. Like, for God's sake, picture is what caused all this commotion to the point where politicians are getting involved. The Melanie had to respond, and Italians, by the way, are extremely offended. The ones online, at least, they are offended because they don't see it as just an insult. Like, because he kept saying, she begged me, she begged me, she kept asking me over and over again. I felt sorry for her. So they believe him saying that about her is a reflection of them. Like, he's also saying it about them. So they take it very seriously. They took it very seriously, and they're offended, and they are pushing back. They are calling out President Donald Trump, and she even had to respond. They usually don't respond, but she said desperate measures. And people were so invested in this, they started creating is it called memes, uh, like, but this is not a meme. Actually, this is not what I wanted to show you, but since it's there, look at this. This was also taken at the in the same, I believe, summit. And look, does it look like she's begging? No, to be fair though, to be fair to her, look at that. Look at that. Am I tripping? It doesn't seem like she's even like, it's giving, she is scolding him or like teaching him, or it's giving teacher and student kind of vibe. I don't know. That's what I'm getting. Though I could be wrong, and this is just me. Okay, I could be wrong. Let's get that clear. This video first went viral before he answered. Before he said and insulted her and said she was begging him and all that. This video was the first one that surfaced, and everyone saw it, right? This video, and people kept, even some what are they called? Mouth interpreters, like sign interpreters, were coming online and trying to tell us like what they believe was being said, and how he looks like a boy that did something bad and is being told off. So when that went viral, and that's my suspicion, and people started questioning him, his ego maybe got bruised, and he's like, I'm not about to let this slide. Like, I'm gonna make sure that people hear she is the one that wanted to take a photo with me. I know we're talking about world leaders, but it happened. So yeah. So he said what he said about her, and obviously it escalated to the point where the foreign ministers canceling their trip, and Italians are showing anger, and news outlets are covering it, obviously. So yeah, my suspicion, and I could be wrong, is that he realized people were talking bad about him, like in a way where the way he was reacting, the way she was talking to him, it's like, I'm not about to let this slide. And then he's like, what can I say to just like a punch in the gut kind of thing. But people were creating, this is the actual clip I wanted to show you, and then I open the other one, is fans, or I don't know if they're Italians, but people making this. Let me show you. So they were compiling, see, they titled it, she begged me for a picture, meanwhile her, and then they want to show how she usually looks at him, and how these are from different meetings. I believe it's not just, or maybe it's just the G7 summit, but watch this and tell me if this lady looks like, she begs for a picture with So that's the short clip that they came up with to show that she's usually disinterested when she's having a chat with him, or she's just disappointed or like flabbergasted by, you know, what he says or how he acts. And that's, to be fair, yes, it's been cut in many into many clips, but it is her reaction. It's not like it's AI, right? So yeah, this is the our world leaders. And sometimes, you know, we talk about how leaders should be this way, leaders should be that way. And you look at this kind of situation where a photo has caused such a commotion between two countries, and uh, how bizarre it is. And it makes you realize these folks that we kept or we keep wanting more from are just human beings, some with big egos, some with issues, self-esteem problems, anger issues. Like, they have their own stuff going on. Maybe the difference between this and maybe other scenarios is that we don't hear about it quite a lot because politicians are programmed, or politicians are taught to be like, think of Obama, whether you like him or not, the way he carries himself, the way he speaks, the way, you know what I mean? Like, there's a certain expectation that us people have for our leaders, our politicians, and they make sure to abide by that or follow the rules. And behind the scenes, maybe they're throwing hands, or we don't know what they do behind the scenes, right? Sometimes, of course, mm, there's an expose, and then we get a glimpse into their lives, and we're like, oh my goodness, oh Lord. Do you remember the Equatorial Guinea minister that was caught, like 500 plus women, some with his own family members, wives, some with, you know, the president and vice presidents, because like crazy, crazy. And he was filming himself. He posted. It was a whole thing. If you missed that, by the way, you missed such an era, because the story was crazy, gets crazier and crazier. And these are politicians we're talking about, and even the people that he was filming and sleeping with and all that were politicians' wives or politicians themselves. So these folks that we expect to change our situation, we expect them to do right by us, behind the scenes are some of them, of course not all of them, some of them are just the most deviant, just, you know, their characters are flawed and all that. So yeah, it really, really makes you think, wow, we're being led by some childish people, basically. And yeah, that was the Melanie and Trump debacle. Let me get into the chats. What are your thoughts? What was your thought about what happened? Renz, hello to you. Brian, oh, thank you. That is so kind of you. I'm gonna read it out loud because Brian said something nice. Wengale is one of the most informed African women on planet Earth, which is that's exaggeration, but I'll take it. I learned too much about our phenotype globally from her content. Jamaicans not having access to their own beaches, China's role, Africa's politicians, South Africa's racism. Very grateful for this presenter. Oh, thank you. May God bless you for this kind words, Brian. Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for coming and watching and interacting and supporting. Really, really appreciate it. Hi, Susan. Yeah, so what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about Trump's and Melanie's back and forth? She asked me for a photo. She begged me. I said no. And then she comes and says, yeah, no, that never happened. He's lying. And then we're hearing now there's a diplomatic issue because of these two and pictures, not because they disagreed about a policy. Well, they recently they've been kind of disagreeing in a few things, like you know, Melanie shows complete support to Ukraine, I believe, and Trump is like, me right now. He's a little bit, you know. I think other things. Yes, she's also called him out for calling out his own allies, which is true. Trump, unlike other presidents and leaders, he comes against his own allies, like his own allies. His meaning the country he represents, America's allies. And so even a reporter was saying, with friends like this, who needs enemies? Like, that's Trump for you right now, at least, because he is very vocal and he calls out a lot of the European policies. NATO, oh my goodness, NATO was a big thing. I think they disagree with that. So he, for some reason, disagrees openly with his own allies. Usually, when they're allies, these countries, even if they don't agree with each other fully, they go behind the scenes and have a conversation. Not him, of course. So yeah, this has been an interesting journey, to say the least, and I found it entertaining. What are your thoughts on it? Let me see if you guys have anything to add. But yeah, here on this video, though, they seemed to be having a really good conversation. That was my thought, but I guess not. Yeah. Ren said, do you expect anything else from a pure narcissist? You see the expressions on her face said it all. Yeah, the other clips that were pulled together, yes, they do. And most leaders, even though they don't show him this face, they do feel that way, and they have mentioned it once or twice. It's just, I don't think he cares, honestly. I really don't think he cares. But this one, I think, in my opinion, I could be wrong, is the one that really set him off, and he wanted the world to get it straight that he is no, bad boy that was being scolded by the prime minister. Yeah, so there you have it. Our world leaders that have power, and that can start a war, and that can end a war, and that can I don't know. They're meeting. This happened at the G7 summit, so the irony of it all, right? But yeah, fam, if you guys don't have anything to add, I think I will. Let me see. Yeah, I think we'll end it here. I'm seeing more people coming in now. I guess you guys missed it. You have to rewind to watch. Trump and Meloni are at each other's throat. And yeah, Italy and the US are facing some challenges because of a freaking picture, a photo that Trump claims that Meloni begged him for. And he felt sorry for her. So he allowed it, which she denies completely and fully. For those of you that are just joining, that's what we were talking about.
Being a liar.
Frankly, I'm shocked. The only thing I can say is that it's a pity he doesn't show the same determination with the enemies of the West and the United States. But there's one thing he must remember: Italy and I, we never beg.
And it seems there's been real world.
Yeah. So she said they never beg. That's it for today, fam. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Stay blessed. Bye.